that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety.
New part of the project. As you've seen, we've got the inner sill done. Now we've got the damaged front of the Beamer, and I want to see if we can get this floor out and get that fitted inside the E30. But to do that, we need to measure it, and to drive back and forward an hour to measure, that's not a good idea. So I decided to pick up the front piece, and let's see in the workshop how we can get this all together. Let's figure out how we can, well, move this around in the shop. So make some wheels under it, and we can move and roll it around the shop. And of course, we've got, well, one front fender, two wheels and two doors. So that means we can now weld in the side rocker. So now we got it in the shop. Now, I'm not going to measure everything yet, but a first quick look, that's what we're going to do. How wide is the inside? So the inside is 142 centimeters, so 1420 millimeters. Let's see what the E30 says. And this one says 1330 millimeters. So that's 90 millimeters difference, that it's need to be smaller. Okay, we got some jobs to do onto this. That's what brought me to going to the Mols factory again at the first place to pick up the doors, to get the sills done, because we don't need the frame yet, but we needed to go there anyway, and well, it's not that close by that you can just drive there every day to get some measurements. So as you all know, I like to put some ideas in my mind, work on some other stuff. So the first steps of the idea and the process is starting. Now let's get the door in, let's get the sill aligned or the outer rocker aligned. Then we can move on with the frame. Like geen kloten. Ja. Okay, the door should go up a little bit higher. That makes it easier to align the sill, but not sure how BMW invented this. Jezus, goed zooi! Wat? Fuck, ik kan nooit normaal zijn, oké? Zo, knap je dat vast op? Well, fitment is shitty like always, but luckily we have got the original sill over here, or the original rocker over here. Let's get this door in as well, and then we can measure, well, how this one's sitting, so we can compare it to the other side. So I guess this one should sit perfectly, because they didn't destroy this side yet. Okay, so then, this is normally the original rocker that comes to the outside, and it's the front piece of the rocker. And then the side piece of the rocker is together with the side panel. As this construction, I'm now doing a side rocker in one piece, but I still want to connect the side rocker with the inner rocker, because in my opinion that's why the BMWs are such good cars for like on a track. They made a construction that it's really strong. So that's why I want still on that point, like original, the outer rocker together with the inner rocker, so we get the original strength back. So that's why I repaired a final piece. It was a little bit more work than I hoped, because it was almost impossible to check how far we needed to go to the outside, that the rocker still goes over it, because we have no reference point, because everything was gone. Now that that's fixed, now we can go on, get the outer rocker on, put some spot weld holes in the outer rocker, so we can spot weld it onto the inner rocker at that point. And then we can grind that smooth, and with the M3 parts over it later on, it will be perfect. Well, this means rocker is in. Yes, some tweaks here and there to go, but in the really straight line, it's a little bit strange with the rusty crusty in there, but hopefully it's visible. Yes, it's visible. Okay then, that's a nice straight line. A corner repair there, but this is looking nice. Okay, well, that is another challenge, worked out perfectly. Line straight, all the shitty repairs are gone, so we got a freshly start for the next part of the project. So now we're finally off to the frame rails. I'm going to check what is original on there, so maybe we need to adjust some of my ideas that are already in my head. So hopefully the only thing is just to draw a little bit, flip the car up, and well, get some frame rails made. So now I want to do a base plate over it, where all the connections will be on, so we can make all the reinforcement in the frame rails, and then make two side pieces and weld them all off, and then we go grind out the old frame rails and spot weld it in around and about how the original one is mounted, so it will be or will going to have the original look. Yes, it's got some damage. That should be straight, and yes, of course, there. Not what it seems to be, but let's take a look. This is a mounting point, this is a mounting point, and that's a mounting point. So I want this shape on there with these points, but my idea was that I'm going to only bridge it over here and then go back, and then same like here, bridging it over here, then let it go back to the frame point over there, that we can mount it over there as well, and then I will go end up back in this original frame rails over there. So in my thought process, that will keep the original strength of the E30 and with the extra reinforcement that I'm going to make, and then it will be even stronger with the reinforcement of the subframe and some extra reinforcement points that will be in there to connect everything together, so that won't be moving anywhere. So let's go to the drawing boards. Well, okay, so I went from this sketchy again to something like this. So now the idea, so here you can see the shape, and that shape should go all in there so we can weld in new frame rails. Something like that. I think we'll go put it up, then look from underneath, and then maybe just the easiest way to make a test piece again. Okay, so these are the numbers of the bending sequence. The plan was to bend this in the big bender, so I was thinking later on maybe we can make the bends with a bigger radius. That it will look a little bit more like automotive related stuff. But of course, these bends will not fit my big bender as I can see it so far. So I'm going to start with a small bender and then maybe walk a bit back and forth to the big bender to see if I can find some possibilities to do it in this sequence. Because of the lengths of the bend, they will hit the bender or the back or the frame or something else, and in the small bender there's a little bit more room to get close gaps in a U shape. So let's see how far we can come with this technical story for you all. Hope everybody likes these technical stories. Let's get this fixed and see how the plans are working out.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety filling up every space, no privacy, and silently it could build a building.
That's not right. Not even close. This one. Okay, this is the typical Remco bullshit. I will always measure everything, but of course I got it all straight, and instead of getting 8mm off, I counted it up. Typical Remco bullshit when engineering. And the rest, well, this will be a cool shape. And there's a little bit more to come, because now I realize that I made the holes out of center, accidentally again. It's a good thing to get the chassis down now and then see how far the holes are out of center compared to the original frame. So the next one will be with all the tiny adjustments.
Home it sucks. I've had enough. I don't want to feel stuck under the rug. All my
now all these lines need to align with those.
That the thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear. That the thoughts build up until I can't hear. That my mind fills up into...
Okay, I have cut a tree, and now I'm sure that I'm going to cut the final one, but that one will fit perfectly. I got all these minor details and stuff that I, well, wanted to adjust, needed to adjust, some tweakies here and tweakies there, and finally, yes, now we've got a good base point for a new chassis rail. But there are a couple of things that's a little bit of an adventure still to come. So what are we going to do? I took the carpet out. So now you can see how nice and flat the sides on the rockers are. So, in my opinion, this is a nice baseline from where to start. Then, the idea is getting more crazy and crazy in this project. The owner, Mr. Malls, he would like to have the dashboard and all electronics in the E30. So I was tinkering and measuring, can we do full bottom plate, full bulkhead in the E30? The only thing then is, where do I end up with the chassis rail if this is piece with the bulkhead? So do we start the bulkhead from the inside of the engine bay, and then we can keep most of the frame rails original shape and sizes, or do we need to adjust that later on when the bottom plate is in? So that's one point for me to think about. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, because of the chassis rails are on with the floors and we need to connect them both together, and as if I am building new frame rails, why not get it in line with the new bottom plates? So some measuring to do, some figuring out to do for the next episode. So in the next episode we are going to work with the bottom plates, frame rails, and doing all this crazy stuff with the stuff that we got here right now. So thank you all for watching. Of course, like and subscribe to the channel, and please discuss this craziness with me, put something in the comments, and see you all in the next episode. Bye.
But let's be real anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be real anxiety can foggy all this stuff.